Hi, I'm Danielle Casey, the President and CEO of the Albuquerque Regional Economic Alliance. And today we are talking about New Mexico biosciences. I'm very excited because New Mexico actually has a bioscience authority. And with me today to talk all about it and share some great knowledge is Stephanie Tufigi, who is the Executive Director. Thank you for coming, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, brass tacks. What's the Bioscience Authority? How did it get formed? Why does it exist? Tell us all the things.
So the Bioscience Authority was created in 2017 after the Grow Bio report was put together in 2016 by a public-private partnership. That report demonstrated that biosciences was a key industry to support to be able to diversify the state's economy outside of the gas and travel and tourism that has been leading the economy for so long. So biosciences was seen as being a really great industry to support because of the high number of patents that were being filed by the universities, by the research universities and national labs.
Right.
And yet there were not as many companies that were being developed. And so a big piece that the Bioscience Authority is working to support is the development of those companies, bringing companies to the state, being able to help them with the financing through a public-private partnership with co-investment, as well as working on workforce development strategies. So.
I love it. Well, the co-investment, we'll come back to that. I think that's always a very big question when we're talking to companies that are thinking about our market. Mm-hmm. So that's very exciting information. My understanding also is that you've recently, just in the last legislative session, we've also seen the state committing to additional resources to supporting your work.
We have, yes. So Representative Dixon was able to add it to House Bill 2. To be able to allocate a one-time appropriation for us to be able to help with our programming. Right now we get funding through the state because we are a state agency that has 13 members that are representing the research universities as well as private industry, the Economic Development Department, and Spaceport America. The recurring funding that we have typically gotten only pays for staff salaries and a little bit for travel, materials and supplies, and some rent. So this appropriation will really help with our programming to be able to really directly support the growth of those bioscience companies and the workforce development that is needed to help employees get ready.
It's such a huge piece, and I'd love to echo your earlier comments talking about the target industry identification. When we did a strategic plan for our organization in 2021, we saw all of that same data and completely agreed this needs to be a focus priority for our region, but also the larger state, because there's some very compelling arguments, all the things that you've highlighted. Give me some more reasons why New Mexico overall is a really compelling location for bioscience growth.
So New Mexico has got a very diverse population, which is not something that is seen in other states like Massachusetts and California, where you've got a high number of bioscience companies that are being developed, specifically in pharmaceuticals and medical devices and appropriations that are related to health. And if you don't have that diverse population to be able to do clinical trials on, you're not going to be hitting all of the people that could be benefiting from these kinds of pharmaceuticals and other drug development systems. So being able to have that in New Mexico, where we have not only a high number of Hispanic citizens that are living here, we also have a high number of Native American citizens that are living here, as well as Caucasian and African American. And so we have a very diverse population. We also have a very we have an aged population, and so that aging population also needs specific support when it comes to their health and wellness. There are companies that are being developed, that are growing, that are working to support that specific population. We also have Spaceport America, and as funny as it may sound that space and bio go together, they really do.
They sure do.
Because if people are going to be in space, We've already seen it, with people staying on the space station for a long period of time. Health and wellness is compromised in space, and so we need to have that bioscience to be able to support that. We have many, talented individuals that are in our research universities and national labs that are already, strongly supporting the growth of the bioscience sector through their patenting, through their innovation. And we just need to be able to have the, financial support to be able to really launch that.
Yeah. Well, those are some unique roles, and I think I've heard that question come up and really creates an advantage for us as a unique test bed from a population standpoint. You mentioned some of the partners and some of the labs. I know Los Alamos is one that's very uniquely qualified, and University of New Mexico and many others. So it's pretty fascinating. I think what we have noticed, and one of the reasons that we want to have a larger national and global presence and awareness on and eyes on New Mexico and Greater Albuquerque for biosciences, is because a lot of folks don't realize those amazing assets that we have in this local community and the quality and level of institutions that are already here. So just ready to be tapped into. And on top of all that, we've been working in general in the community and state overall on how do we think in a more proactive way about site readiness and having facilities ready to go for the industry that makes a lot of sense to come here.
Definitely. Lab space has been something that is really lacking in the area, specifically the 1,000 to 2,000 square foot lab space that a lot of companies are, growing into outside of the research universities or their, small single unit labs that they have right now. And so we're hopeful that, maybe part of this appropriation that we were given by the state will be able to contribute to the development of that kind of space. But really fast before moving on away from what New Mexico leads in biosciences, ag science is also part of that bioscience because of the life sciences. New Mexico is an arid climate, and we have many really great researchers that are in New Mexico State and New Mexico Tech as well as University of New Mexico that are looking at that arid agriculture and being able to create crops that are sustainable, as well as farm practices that will be able to contribute to that.
Absolutely, it's a brave new world. Well, one of the things I really love about New Mexico, while we represent the Greater Albuquerque region, I think that what's fantastic is you're representing biosciences across the state. The level of connectivity in New Mexico, entering and coming in and meeting someone like you, someone like me at the same time while we're at the Bio International Convention can really connect you to any institution in our state just like that, which is pretty tremendous.
Definitely, and we've already had those experiences at other Bio International conventions. We've been able to work with individuals that are outside of the state, organizations that are outside of the state that are looking at coming to New Mexico, or they want to work with people in New Mexico. Because we are a business-friendly state. We want businesses to be able to come, to be able to grow, and we also have the employees that are ready to stay in the state because of the great weather, the great community, and the low cost of living.
Absolutely, I will echo that. So we will be at the Bio International Convention again this year. Anything that you would want to say to anybody who is attending and maybe wants to come meet us? What do we have to offer? What could they come talk to you about?
Just how to work with New Mexico. So we are there to help out. The state's SIC, the State Investment Council, they already invest in a lot of bioscience companies outside of the state of New Mexico. We're really looking to meet them, to be able to see, if there's any way that we can be able to forge better relationships with companies that are inside New Mexico, with those companies that are being invested in by this SIC.
Perfect. I think that is a great place to start. We're excited. It's going to be a great time. We'll be there, hopefully meeting a lot of people. Stephanie, where can people find more information about the Bioscience Authority?
www.nmbioscience.org. But then our EcoMap platform, which is a one-stop shop to be able to find anything related to biosciences, whether it be resources, organizations, events, jobs. It's all there on our nmbioscienceconnect.com. And that is our eco map that was created a couple of years ago with a grant that we got from the Small Business Administration Growth Accelerator Fund competition. It's meant to develop a rural biotech ecosystem, but like anything in New Mexico, we're all connected, and so it works to connect everybody.
Perfect. Well, we'll be sharing and promoting that at the event, and I will see you at Bio.
Wonderful.